Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's good to have you all here. I hope you are all doing well. Today, I'm going to teach you about the massive new changes coming to your employment rights and what it means for you, courtesy of Labour's new upcoming Employment Rights Bill. This is a very important video. I can tell you confidently, as a practicing lawyer for many years, this bill is going to revolutionise workplace rights in a way we have not seen for many years. So pay attention and let's get straight into it. Okay, look, this bill, the majority of which is expected to be in force over the next few years, 2025 and 2026, is set to make massive and very long-awaited changes to job security, flexible working, and fair treatment. But how is it going to affect you? Well, in many ways. It's going to affect how you are treated compared to your colleagues. It's going to affect your ability to work flexibly to suit your needs. It will affect the ability to raise issues at work without fear of retaliation and much, much more. And I'm going to explain how it's going to achieve all those things in just the next 8 minutes. So let's get straight into it. So this new law isn't just a minor tweak. It will bring about significant changes to how you're protected at work. It has become inescapably clear to our government that there are too many people out there that feel their voice isn't heard at work. 25% according to recent data, and even more people claiming to not be getting the fair treatment. 40% claim to have experienced workplace discrimination. The stats are becoming too difficult to overlook. People like yourselves are not being treated fairly. And for those people, the new rules are designed to give you more power and more control over your life. So let's go through the changes. Number one, enhanced job security. So one of the cornerstones of the new bill is the enhancement of job security. Under current law, employers can often dismiss employees with minimal justification. The new bill, however, proposes stricter criteria for unfair dismissals. For example, an employer will now have to provide more robust evidence and a clearer rationale for termination. That means if you're dismissed, you'll have a stronger basis to challenge the decision in an employment tribunal. Now, how it works is the bill is going to introduce stricter guidelines on what constitutes a fair dismissal, particularly protecting those who raise concerns about safety or unethical practices. And there will be more transparency in the disciplinary processes as well, so you can better understand why a decision was made against you. Now, in practical terms, if you're in a role where you feel vulnerable to arbitrary dismissal, then this change could give you a lot of that much needed peace of mind that you've been looking for. Now, number two is the right to flexible working. So flexible working rights are another major area of reform that is happening under this bill, because employees today are struggling to balance work with personal commitments. They are, and the current laws haven't kept pace with modern working practices. So this bill aims to make it a lot easier for you to request flexible working arrangements, where that means working from home, adjusting your hours, or even job sharing. So how's it going to work? All right, so employers will be now required to provide clear procedures for requesting flexible working. This means that you'll have a transparent process, hopefully, to follow. The criteria for approving those requests will also be more objective, reducing the risk of bias or unfair rejection. Additionally, there's emphasis on genuine consideration of employees' needs. So if you can demonstrate how flexible working would benefit both you and your employer, if you can do that, you're in a strong position. For example, if any of you watching are juggling childcare and what is a pretty demanding job, although now you might feel like you're really struggling or being forced into a rigid schedule, under this new bill, your request to work flexibly is far more likely to be considered fairly. Now, another huge welcome change coming by the bill is around your pay and transparency about earnings and salaries. Look, wage disparities and gender pay gaps have long been a contentious issue. People have no clue how their wages are calculated or how their colleagues' wages are calculated and using what factors or criteria. Well, this bill takes a firm stand on this. So it's set to introduce measures that compel employers to be more transparent about how wages are calculated, how wages are determined. And so this could mean a lot clearer criteria for promotions and regular pay audits, and possibly even public reporting of pay statistics in large companies. So how's it going to work? Okay, well, as far as I can tell, employers will be mandated to provide detailed breakdowns of pay structures, making it easier for the employees to see if they're being paid fairly. Now, this transparency will not only empower you to negotiate your pay better, but could also serve as a deterrent for your employer against discriminatory practices. So for example, if any of you watching are suspicious of a gender pay gap in your role, you'd be able to point to specific discrepancies now and take action, either internally or legally. Now, our next major change is another very welcome change, which is proper protection for whistleblowers, guys. Now, whistleblowers have historically been at risk of retaliation, right, which often discourages people from coming forward with crucial information. Now, this new bill proposes enhanced protection for those whistleblowers, okay, ensuring that if you're reporting any wrongdoing or any unsafe practices, then you won't be penalized by your employer. Now, how's it going to work? Well, the bill broadens the scope of what is considered protected activity, basically meaning that more types of concerns can be reported without fear. It also strengthens the remedies available to whistleblowers, including like compensation or reinstatement in case they've been unfairly dismissed as a result. So for any of you wondering, with these new protections, that means you can now report issues with greater confidence, knowing that the law is finally on your side. Now, the final major change confirmed so far will be clarification and regulation of zero-hour contracts. Guys, if this doesn't relate to you and you've got what you needed from this video, I don't want to waste your time. I respect your time. Please feel free to swipe away. But for those of you who zero contract hours are relevant to, then please listen on. So if you didn't know, zero-hour contracts have been a major source of insecurity for many workers due to like the fairness of them and their susceptibility to abuse. So this new bill aims to bring much needed clarity and fairness to those arrangements, those zero-hour arrangements, ensuring that employees on such contracts are not exploited and receive much more predictable working hours. And how's it going to be achieved? Well, it's going to introduce stricter rules on how your zero-hour contracts are used, aiming to prevent abuse by employers, and employees will now receive a much clearer statement of their rights regarding working hours and pay and conditions of work, making these contracts much less of a gamble. All right, so with that out of the way, let's quickly summarize what we know so far about the changes. What is it basically going to mean summed up in 60 seconds? Well, one, job security. Employers will need much more substantial reasons for dismissals. Number two, it's going to enhance your flexible working rights if you need to balance work and personal life, for example. It's also going to improve your pay transparency so you can ensure a fair compensation. It's also going to give better whistleblower protections if you want to speak up against any misconduct. It's also going to give massive clarification on zero-hour contracts so as to give more predictable working conditions for those on those contracts. All in all, look guys, it sounds pretty good on paper, but why is this bill so anticipated? Why does this matter to you? And the simple answer is, if you're a working employee, then these changes are going to affect you. Employers will have to adjust their policies and your rights in the workplace will be significantly strengthened. This is urgent because the landscape of your work is changing rapidly, isn't it? With the rise of remote work and some very unique modern business practices now, the government seems to have fallen behind, but they are aware and have finally caught up to the fact that having robust employment rights is now far more important than ever. I think it's a very welcome bill personally. Now guys, look, I have done an incredible series of short and informative videos on people's employment rights, such as how to deal with discrimination, how to challenge unfair dismissal, your rights regarding overtime and work breaks, and much, much more. That playlist is right here. Go take a look where I explain the most common day-to-day legal issues for all employees in under 10 minutes per video. Go take a look and learn something useful. Get down in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on this new law, what you think it will bring and what you are worried about. Remember though, as always guys, this is not specific legal advice. It is purely educational content. That said, I'll see you in the next video.